What's up, YouTube? It's RushMoreRick, and today there's a red pill community for women. Me, I don't know about any of the pills. Whether I know there's red pill, blue pill, black pill. Apparently, I'm not too well knowledged in those areas of life, but apparently there's a red pill community for women, and I'm about to learn. We're about to learn together. It's the fun part about me reacting, you watching, you chilling, you liking, you comment, you subbing. We lock in on this shit and then we learn this shit together. So let's come on.
A broke man is a dangerous man, and you have no business dating one.
Look, I'm not becoming one of those types of content creators, but I've seen too many videos in 2025 of women just portraying loser activity. So when I saw this video on Abba and Preach's channel, I knew I had to make my own version of it. And literally, like somebody said in the comment section, there's just a bunch of contradictions on both sides. They don't even realize they are becoming fresh and fit with wigs on.
Back in the olden days, they would see 200 baddies in their whole life. And now it's like they are desensitized to it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'll have conversations with my guy friends where I need to check them, where I'm like, you need to check yourself. They'll be like, oh, well, her hair wasn't perfect, or she didn't have like veneers, so I just didn't. And I'm like, you are a 4 at best. Like, this is insane.
Now, I know double standards exist, but literally think about if we saw any male content creator come out and do that exact type of content. Like, literally think about it. Just, let's say 2 men on a podcast based in Miami. Matter of fact, let's put some women around them and they just make those. That already exists. That's the whole red pill community. Male red pill content creators' core beliefs are that men should be high value, women are promiscuous, they're not to be trusted, they're gold diggers, etc., etc. But when
All right, so what I'm understanding is red pill people are people who, I don't know. All this shit is stupid, but I know a little bit about Fresh and Fit. And what they do is they have a platform where they sit in a little round table and I don't know if it's an interview or they have dialogue, just open dialogue with it's just them two, usually another guy, and then a whole bunch of women. And the women that they usually talk to are dim-witted tweed bird type women, like women who aren't, you know what I'm saying? They not all way there in the head. They're usually OF creators. I'm not saying all OF creators are slow or stupid or dumb. I'm not saying that at all. But usually their demographic in which they talk down to are the women who aren't the brightest. The women who got the lights on but nobody's home. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that.
when you really
It's
start
corny
paying attention to
me.
the women online, or hell, even the ones in person, they are saying the exact same things in reverse. Men don't deserve X, Y, and Z. Only high value men get respect. All these
Which is
same
true.
red pill adjacent
The second part,
conversations.
not the first part. I hate when short men try to talk to me like, do I look like I would want to have short children with you? Brain rot.
And now maybe that woman is just into raising the next fleet of NBA players, but I think that there's a little bit more to it. Myron Gaines literally has a book titled Why Women Deserve Nothing.
This nigga made a book entitled Why Women Deserve Less. This nigga sat down for months at a time, cooked up this idea, slapped his name on it, sent it to his editor. The editor sent it to a publisher. The publisher said, oh, this is gold. Let's publish this. Like, I just feel like we live in a society where, like, this, look at his face. I don't even think a nigga like that would take something like this serious. Like, we live in such a rage bait society or a reaction bait society. Like, everybody's doing something to get a reaction out of somebody else, which is the ironic situation because I'm starting this YouTube channel to react to stuff. So maybe what they doing is working. Maybe I don't know shit.
And he's a bona fide loser pretty much across the internet. But if a woman were to
I
do the same
kinda
thing,
agree.
which they are, nobody
Successful.
bats an eye.
Sometimes men will
But he is a
grow
loser.
to resent you for being the one that was there watching them struggle, for being the one that had to buy their underwear and buy them food. They feel like you've already seen them not looking like the provider.
I think women get this pass on the internet to say the most outrageous things about relationships and dating. The things that can make them seem like honestly goofies if anybody was giving a clear perspective. But the strange phenomenon about this is women will give them praise for saying just outlandish shit. Every time I scroll down the timeline,
But that's
I
everybody,
see a
though.
video
Everybody
like
says
ones that we've
outlandish
shown,
shit.
But I'll see a video like
That's how
this,
social
and then
media
when I go to
really
the
work
comment
now.
section, it just has me looking, wow, amazed.
Whenever I've heard a man say, let me see what you look like with no makeup, let me see what you look like without the hair, I feel that that man is telling you that he does not have the money to finance your beauty upkeep.
But what the fuck does that happen now? See, look, this is why I call it rage bait, because I don't genuinely get mad at stupid people, but I don't like stupidity. I don't like stuff that doesn't make sense. If a man is telling you, what do you look like without makeup? What do you look like without braids? If every time we hang out, your face is beat to the T, or I can't even take you swimming because I'm afraid that you're going to come up looking like the Green Goblin out the water. I don't think it has anything to do with financial upkeep. Nothing to do. Like, women, today's society of women and dating make everything about finances. It's not about finances. I mean, it is, but it's not. Like, we're making things too much about finance. Like, why me wanting to see you naturally? Why does me wanting to see your natural beauty mean that I don't have enough money to not see you natural? Dumb bitches.
Don't come over here thinking that I'm going to go to Sephora and get you some makeup. So I need to see you without all that because I want to strip you of all that because I ain't got it. When a man says that to you, he wants to strip you of everything. He doesn't want you to have the thought process of maintaining yourself.
One thing that
Wrong. He doesn't want you to have to go to bed with a full face of makeup. He doesn't want you to wake up and before he sees you in the morning for that good morning kiss, oh, I gotta put 8 pounds of makeup on my face just so I can look appealing to you all day. No man wants to deal with that. I guarantee you there's I'll say like a 70-80%. 70-80% of men want to see a natural woman on a day-to-day basis. Like, why does your daily routine consist of you having to wear makeup? Because if you don't wear makeup, then you don't feel complete as a person. And a man wanting to see you as your natural self, it shouldn't be anything wrong with that. Women are so dumb to me.
The internet has to do in 2025 is when somebody slows down their verbiage, they need to stop listening to them. Very rarely are they spitting any sorts of facts. I can almost promise you that it has nothing to do with the upkeep that you have or you having some sort of lavish lifestyle that he can't participate in when you do it. He literally just wants to see what you look like without fucking makeup on. Like, I don't even understand how you can jump to those hurdles in order to come to that conclusion. But the Olympics is in Los Angeles in a couple years. And if you're already ready right now, everybody else just needs to stop and not even compete because you are going to win if you are jumping to conclusions like this. It almost seems like when I watch videos like that people have things to hide about themselves. Exactly. I hear videos talking about men don't need to know women's finances. Men don't need to know women's dating history. Men don't need to know what you look like without makeup. Men don't need to know about your family life. Well,
we might as well just be fucking strangers that sleep in the same house. At that point, if men can't know these things about, if a woman feels a way about you knowing her past, about you knowing what she looks like without makeup, if she feels a way with you knowing how much she weighs on a scale, how much she takes a shit on a daily basis, how much she pisses on a daily basis, how much money she pours into getting fucking Starbucks every single morning before she goes to work. Like, if men can't know these common things, like, what is there to hide? Why be intertwined with a person? Why be in a relationship with a person? Why be in a talking stage with a person? If a man can't know these things, even if it's a man doing it to women, because I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to sexualize it like women is just hiding things, because there's men that hide things too. But at the same time, why are we wasting each other's time if we're just going to hide stuff from each other? It doesn't make sense to me.
Well, damn. Then you get mad when men don't know things about you, and it's because, well, it's none of their business. It's not something that they should know. It's not a means for them to protect themselves, just like it's a means for you to protect yourself, but it's them being judgmental and picky and all these other things. I don't see too many times when people call this sort of conversation out, but this is just as detrimental to dating from a female perspective as it is to a male perspective when you hear Fresh and Fit talk about only having the 304s. Now you're justifying why you should go out into the world doing these things, and it's not leading to any sorts of better results. Hell, has she even ever thought about maybe this man is saying, hey babe, you can also just be comfortable in your own skin around me. You don't always have to wear makeup. So what happens 10, 15 years down the line? Do you continuously wear the makeup all the time? I just don't even think that there's any sort of logic that says, hey, let me be this combative over something so small and insignificant. Now, red pill content for men can breed mistrust and this whole stigma behind dating in women that honestly has men lonelier than than ever. And on the flip side of that, it's doing the exact same things for women and nobody says anything.
There is not a single man who actually believes in not all men, because they'll tell their sisters and mothers to be careful, and they'll obsess over controlling their wives and daughters because they know deep down they too assume that men are all the same. But to everybody else, it's not all men. So to those men, instead of trying to distance yourself from the problem because you can't get over your bruised male ego, realize that if you refuse to acknowledge the problem by derailing the conversation and invalidating women, you are just as bad.
Now, on surface level, some of this stuff has good
I'd be losing brain cells listening to some people talk. And like I said, it's not just a woman thing. It's not just a man thing. Certain people literally open their mouth and they have nothing to say. They talk to hear themselves speak. And those are the people that we should fucking send to District 12. Watch them on a big ass jumbotron take each other out because they don't provide value to the world. They don't provide value to their surroundings. People like that deserve to have their mouths zip tied and they don't have to speak. Because you open your mouth and you say stuff, but you're not saying anything.
Conversation and good intention behind it. There's something to be talked about how people view each other in relationships. But when this person specifically or other content creators like her base their whole identity and lifestyle about relationships suck, men only see you as lesser than, you're not equal to a man in his eyes, etc., only pushing the divide further and further between men and women when it comes to dating and relationships, what do we think is the outcome? It looks like relationships are put on the back burner more and more, and then people are in their 30s and they get desperate because there's some sort of clock that's ticking. It looks like people don't know how to respect each other based off of the sole fact that they have two different genders than each other. It looks like people will avoid relationships more and more because on one end of the spectrum, there are men telling men not to date these women and stack their bread. And then on the other end, there are women telling women don't deal with these men. And so now you have these two opposing forces pulling each other away from each other, only for them to be criticized and chastised later on in their life when they're not dating, when they get finessed because they don't understand how dating works, when they don't have kids and live out a dream and they call them lonely. This shit is weird.
It is not quirky or funny to publicly admit that your emergency contact is your boyfriend or husband who is deeply incompetent and irresponsible. It
Ramona.
is wildly concerning to me to see all of the women that are under this sound that are saying, ladies and gentlemen, my emergency contact, and he is doing the most outlandish type of behavior. The joke being that he is doing something that's irresponsible and it's supposed to be funny, but then it also translates to him being your emergency contact. And the joke is supposed to be that if he was in an emergency situation, like that's who would be the one to care for you. I don't find those kinds of jokes funny.
Just like in the male red pill space, you have people that are...
Then you should not be... Like, this is how your algorithm works. If you're seeing that content, that means you're liking that post. You're spending time viewing that post. You're either commenting on that post. If you don't find that sense of humor funny, then you scroll. You click the 3 dots and you hit not interested. Dumb fucking people. Like, I don't understand dumb people. And then you portray I'm going to make a video about how I don't like this content. I don't like how people are portraying their... Like, bitch, that's not your emergency contact. As long as your shit is okay, why are you worried about what other people's emergency contacts? This is like dumb. This is dumb.
Are women, literally the opposite of the men, who validate the claims or fears or dreams or fantasies or whatever these things are that the men in this space have. You have the just pearly things. You have the times where Brittany Renner went Muslim. You have any other women who is bashing any other sort of women for having quote unquote promiscuous behavior whole time they got 3 bodies. I don't know. And all it does is help further the point. It's the whole, I have a black friend and he said that this wasn't wrong. So, it's not wrong. In the female space, there is that exact same thing. I promise you, it is a new era of content creators where women are doing the same thing as men. And because they need their pick-me's to also fall in line, you get this male version of a red pill female content creator who's just validating the claims and concerns of these loser women.
There are only 2 types of men: Type number one, I'll call these guys the self-starters. These are the confident guys. These are the ones who have their stuff going on. They are very independent. They have been alone before. They know what's up. Now, type number one is rarer, but these are the guys who will actually, let's say worst case scenario, you guys are together and then break up. They will actually respect your boundaries. Why? Because they already have their own life that they can go right back to. Having said that, this is the type of guy who will move on from you faster. I don't know if that's going to hurt your feelings or not. But type two is the guy who thinks he is independent, but in fact has never really experienced anything other than codependency in his relationships. And if and when eventually that relationship breaks up, because it always does with a guy who's codependent, this is the guy who will keep coming back every single time, even if he is the one who broke up with you first. This is why you always hear me or your friends or other women telling you men always come back, because most guys are type 2 masquerading around like they're type 1 and they are just not.
I think we let stuff like this slide for so long because the narrative, and maybe there's some truth behind it in some situations and in some regards, is that women have been victims in relationships.
Made me think a little
now,
bit.
that almost seems a little oxymoronic because at the end of the day, from my perspective, a lot of the times these people are choosing each other. So how can you be the victim in a relationship where the guy is a mama's boy when you knew he was a mama's boy before you got into it? I have no fucking clue. I don't know. And no, please don't get into my comment section talking about women being abused or whatever. Like physically, that's not what I'm talking about at all. We condemn that behavior. But the way that we look at Fresh and Fit, the way that we look at Kevin Samuels for some of these other people, the way that people look at any of the other red pill manosphere dating guys who are extreme about dating for the men is the same way that we should look about it for the women. The only reason why we don't, from my perspective, is because there has been this overwhelming majority of people that have felt like women are victims in these relationships that they totally consented to and ultimately just didn't end up well. So then they were able to use their voice and get on the internet and project their feelings onto other people. And they put a fancy bow on it by using 3-syllable words that they probably can't even define. But because it's the new buzzword of the week or whatever the case may be, it justifies their feelings and it makes them seem like they were without any sort of fault in these relationships. The true to God only advice that a lot of people need in relationships is go out there and experience stuff. Put yourself out there. Stop being on social media to figure out how.
All right, well, that's pretty much the gist of the video. To give my take with this whole red pill community for women, whether it be for women or for men, I just feel like these are labels put in place for people to judge from their inside to the outside. They're judging people based off of finances, based off looks, based off of like any reason that I can put you below me. That's how I'm gonna judge you for. Like these pills and these spaces, they don't really make sense to me because everybody is individually wired different. And I feel like when you're a red pill and you're judging women, or you're a red pill woman judging men, you're trying to group people together just based off your experiences, because not everybody experiences everything the same way. This doesn't make sense. This is like, he made a good point. Put yourself out there. Go outside and touch grass, experience, talk to people. I'm a poor advocate for this because I don't really talk to people either, but there's no dying need. I'm not the one sitting here claiming to be Mr. Red Pill passing judgment saying no woman is up to par and I will not date in this generation because every single woman is beneath me. I'm not doing that. But there are people in the world on the internet who have huge platforms that are doing that. And that shit is ruining. It is ruining the society. Whether it be dating, whether it be making friends. It just creates this space where you're inviting people in and telling them we're judgment. This is a judgmental space. You can only join the red pill community if you're judging women and holding them up to par. Who the fuck are you to hold anybody up to par? I don't give a fuck if you had $1 million in your bank account, if you had $10 million, if you had $10, if you had $100. It does not matter because who are you to determine another person's value? Niggas need to get this shit in check because y'all ruining society. And I'm not even gonna say y'all, we all are, because there are people who are allowing this. people who are watching this stuff and aren't saying anything. We need to hold each other accountable, because you got niggas on the internet in these red pill communities who are on both sides of the genders, men and women, who are talking down on the opposing gender as if you're better than that person. Why? Because you got a 401k, you got a business, you got a Fortune 500 company. The fuck out of here. But anyway, that was today's video. Thank y'all for watching it with me. Like, comment, sub. More importantly, I want y'all to comment. Like, the likes and the subs is cool, but I want to get interactive on this channel. I want to hear what y'all think. If you watching this video, it's probably because you want to hear what I think, but I want to hear what y'all think as well. I want to build a community. The best way to build a community is to hear both sides. You know what I'm saying? Both sides of the input and the output. But thank y'all. Have a good day.